Palmer, and I am your host of Living on Purpose TV. This is the place where you are going to get the tips and strategies, all the action steps and ways that you can live your life with purpose and passion. I'm your host, Karen Palmer, and I'm an angelic, mindful marketing expert and also an intuitive social media strategist. So I use social media and marketing for a greater good, and I help visionaries to get their message out in a bigger way. So I'm so honored to have these incredible guests where we pull the curtain back on these successful, absolutely amazing people who have lived their life with purpose and passion, and they're going to give us the secrets to their success. So today I'm beyond thrilled. You guys know I'm giddy. So I am beyond giddy because my dream is coming true right now as we speak. I'm going to be interviewing Dayne. As I watched his movie, my whole life started to change. My whole process of the way that I thought about abundance changed in that movie. And I became a huge, huge fan and also helped promote with Riley on this movie. So I'm just honored and so grateful. And I hope that you will enjoy the time that we have here with him so that you can really take away some incredible ways that you can live your life with purpose and passion. You know, when you live your dream life, you will want to help others. It's just part of the process. So really excited to have you here, Riley. So Riley, can you just tell us a little bit about how you live your life with passion and purpose, and how does that fit into the work that you do?
Right. So the main thing I do is tell stories, and I tell stories with documentaries and with movies, because I think that what you can accomplish in an hour and 20 minutes in a movie is a pretty impressive feat. You know, a lot of people have to write novels. A lot of people have to give 4-hour speeches, but there's something about telling stories and telling people's stories and telling my story that it's a different way to get out all this information. And I do that definitely passionately and with purpose. I always try to make content that can help other people. I always try to give back in some way. And so with the abundance factor, it's all about helping the world. It's about helping people. And just like you said, getting people to live their passion and follow their dreams, because I think that's the single most important thing you can do for yourself, is to chase your dreams and to go after what you want and do it. And I hope that my movie has helped some people, and I hope that it has a purpose in this crazy world that we live in.
It absolutely. Well, if you hoped it touched one person, then you can know that you've already accomplished that, because my life totally changed. My whole way of thinking really shifted as I watched that movie, because I had this this money block that, you know, that it's not spiritual to ask for money. And that was I was so honored by just listening to your interview with Bruce Lipton and how our subconscious, because I was raised Roman Catholic, and a lot of my beliefs from my childhood were really something that, and so I started to do what Joe Vitale talked about and really got into, you know, clearing those subconscious beliefs and actually acknowledging that that we have them. So just to get into that with you guys, but between 0 and 7 years old, we really don't have anything but downloads into our brain. So we are actually, there's no filter. So we're basically taking on all that we see outside of us, and we have that. And whenever we try to take a step out of our comfort zone, that voice, that little 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old comes loud and clear saying, I don't feel safe with this. And so I think that's so fascinating. So when you started this movie, was there something that you had as a vision in mind? And have you started to see glimpses of that? Do you see glimpses of that?
Absolutely. I mean, the vision was that I wanted in the movie, very big personalities, and it's great to dream and to say, hey, I would love to have Bob Proctor in my movie. I would love to have Sonia Riccati in my movie. I'd love to have Joe Vitale in my movie. But then you got to actually make it happen. And so luckily for me, I stayed strong to the vision, and the vision that I had has definitely come into reality, and it's what you see on the screen. I mean, there's always little things that, of course, if you could go back, you would change. But overall, I'm so happy that the movie came together the way that it did.
Absolutely. So did you start off by writing out what the vision was?
Yeah, one of the things we're going to talk about later, when we talk about, you're going to ask me the 3 steps that I take. And so spoiler alert for everyone watching, but definitely the number one thing is to get crystal clear on your vision in all ways that you can. And so when I set out to make the abundance factor, I knew that the only way it was going to happen was to be crystal clear on everything, not just part of it, not just some of it. And so absolutely, I would write it out. I mean, you develop a script, so then that gives you a baseline. So then you have that. And then as you start talking and meeting with people, they ask you questions just like this, and they probe you. And if there's any of those little points where it's like, I don't really know the answer to that, all of a sudden you get clear on the answer to that, because now somebody's poked you in that direction. So you realize there's a hole in your vision, and then you fill it in. And so, yeah, I started, first it was just a mental image of what I wanted. And then I would write down the bullet points of how I saw the movie going, which developed into a script. And a script is kind of just like a vision board for a film. You know what I mean? It has all the parts and all the pieces and all the images and emotions that you see in your head, but it's a way to bring it into our physical world and put it down before it actually becomes something. So absolutely, I did.
Wow, that is so awesome. It's because, a lot of my followers and a lot of the people in our Raise Your Vibe tribe are really at the beginning of understanding how the law of attraction works. And we have been, following what has worked in our life, and what, how we sometimes create by deliberate creation or by intention. And sometimes we create by default. And so it seems like this was an incredible experience for you to create by intention. And maybe you could go a little deeper into that for somebody who's just getting started, somebody who knows they have a vision, and that they then, like, the vision, the dream has been placed in their heart. And I always say to everybody, a dream that has been placed in your heart is there for you to accomplish. That was given to you by source, and it's time for you to start taking action steps. If you have a clear vision, it's time for you to do the next steps. So what would you say to somebody who's just getting started?
Yeah, so in terms of crystallizing your vision, I think that first step is one of the most important, probably the most important step in the process. And the reason I specify the word crystallize your vision is because it needs to be crystal clear. It can't be murky. I meet and talk to a lot of people, and let's say, for example, somebody has a book that they want to write. And if somebody says, well, like, I want to write this book, I don't really know what it's about. Like, I kind of like a character in mind, but like, I'm not sure how it ends. And like, I don't know if it'll be like a digital or a physical book, and I don't really know how I want to get it out to the world. What do you think? And then it's like, that's a tough hill to climb, because it's so murky. You don't know your direction. It's like being in a boat and there's clouds everywhere and you don't have a compass. So you know that you want to find an island, but how are you getting there? You don't have your compass and you can't see anything. But if you can crystallize that vision, and you say, look, I want to write a book. The main character is a 12-year-old girl who goes on this adventure and so on. And you have the arc and you have the story. And you say, and I would really like it to be digital, because I think you can reach more people with digital, and it's going to cost less than physical, and all these things. And you have your vision and every part of it clear. Then the important thing that you do is you allow people to start helping you. So if they said then to me, like, so what do you think about that idea? Then I can say, oh, that's awesome, because I know a company that publishes digital books, so I can connect with those people. Oh, that's so great, because the lead character you're talking about is just like someone I know in real life. I'm sure you could model a lot of them and what they're doing. And there's all these things that I can now add value to, because the vision's crystal clear. So once again, if we take it back to that boat metaphor, all of a sudden we're in a boat, the fog is gone, and I'm holding a compass, and I can say, oh, absolutely, if that's where you want to go, then it's right there. We can all see it. And without being clear, you're gonna meander around in that boat, chasing your dreams for days, getting nowhere. But if you can make it clear, not only are you gonna see it, but other people can see it. And if other people can see it, then people can help you. And I think the fastest way to make any dream a reality is to let the universe help you and let people help you and share your vision with people, because you'll be surprised at how people come out of the woodwork to support you. I mean, you're a prime example. We had never met before. I made something, I made a movie, and you saw it and you said, Riley, I love it. How can I help? Right? And in return, I'm on your show, we're talking, we're connecting. And that's how that happens. It's because it's a clear thing. It's a thing that's happening. And I think it's the coolest thing, and especially with the internet, you're not limited to the people in your town or your city. You can connect to anyone in the world with your vision and make it happen.
Amazing. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. And yeah, tell people about that. You are from a little town in Canada, right? Originally. So your vision was really big for a person who was living in the space. I mean, not that that's not true. Like, I mean, everybody has big visions, but for when you started this vision, I mean, this is a big vision for somebody. What was it like for you to come to Los Angeles and to actually live in Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, like you said, I grew up in a little small farm town, and everyone, most of my friends, they work at the mill, they work on the farm, or they have construction jobs. Some people go up and they drill in the oil fields, but it's all, those are the realistic dreams that we're presented with. That's the kind of the normal path where I'm from. You do that, you buy your truck, you work, you get your house, and then that's kind of the normal path. That's what people do. And where I'm from, you don't hear people say, I'm gonna go make a movie, and then they actually do it. That's not a thing that happens. And so you're presented with some adversity, because if, say, I grew up in Los Angeles and you say, I want to make a movie, that's a pretty realistic goal in Los Angeles, because people are making movies everywhere. So I grew up in a very small town with a bit of a more controlled mindset, a little bit of a smaller mindset. It wasn't about big dreams and big aspirations. It was about what's realistic, what can you really do? To the point where I had a teacher, and I talk about this in the film, where she said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I want to travel, I want to make movies, and I want to help change the world. And she said, Riley, whatever you do, don't do that. Just go to school, get a normal job. When you retire, then worry about doing all that silly stuff. And it's not because she was a mean person. It's because she thought she was giving me solid advice. She thought that she was telling me the truth of the world, but that was just her truth of the world. And so luckily I didn't pay attention. And as you said, I ended up moving to Los Angeles and staying there quite a bit while making the film, and went to film school before there. And you surround yourself in a new group of people with different ideas about what's true. Where if you tell somebody in LA, I'm going to make a movie, and you're sitting in a cafe in Hollywood, they're not going to say, oh, I don't know, maybe you should just go to school and do that when you retire. They say, cool, I can make it happen, because it's a different energy. So I love Los Angeles.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And the more that we put ourselves around people who see our vision, or our visionaries themselves, we have to just accept that certain people can only go so far with their vision, and certain people are actually pretty happy with their life that way. And so, it's not about us trying to, make other people understand that, that they're not doing what they should be doing or anything like that. It's basically putting yourself in the surroundings of visionaries and people who do want to change the world, because there's a lot of us out here. And the more that we gather, the brighter our light becomes. And that's what, my story is, I made the wish for global kindness go viral. And the same thing as Riley was talking about, I had a vision, and the vision was that I was going to publish a book, and this book was going to be, I wanted the hashtag, I had the intention that I wanted the hashtag global kindness to be shared over 9 million times. And it's actually been shared over 20 million times. It's actually become one of the top hashtags that people are using. And that is, you know, what I'm talking about. When we set an intention and we have a clear vision and we let go of the how and get ready for the wow and let the universe conspire to bring you all that you desire, then you will start to see that the universe will bring the correct people, the people and the finances and everything that you need, and you just have to let go of how it's going to happen. So what would be the step 2?
Yeah, so step 2 is taking massive action.
Yay!
It sounds daunting when you say take massive action, but
I love it.
The reality is massive action is still just one step. You know, the hardest step of every journey is putting your foot down for the first time, taking that first leap, doing that first thing. So in my case, I wanted to make a movie, right? But I'm just a kid from a farm town. So how am I going to do this? The first thing I need to do is learn the tools of how to make a movie. I need to learn how to do it. So what did I do? I took the first step, and that was to go to LA, and that was to go to film school and learn from people that know how to do this and ask them questions and hone my own craft so that I can then go on and take more action on making my vision reality and actually make the movie. But if I wouldn't have taken step 1, then there would be no step 2 or step 3 or step 4. So
and that must have been, that must have been a real step out of your comfort zone too. Like that must have been kind of how did your parents feel about that idea and your friends and the people that you had grown up with?
Right. Definitely in terms of my friends and my peers, it was a bit of a crazy idea because, as I said, these people, it's not something that you normally see people from where I'm from doing. So it was a mixture of disbelief. Some people who aren't the most supportive, but luckily my parents and my mother have always been super supportive. So they're all, if you want to go do that, you do it and we'll support you 100%.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, guys, I just want to let you know that I just put in the chat box over here. If you want to get the movie, you can get the movie. You can click that link. And he also has an incredible program that he's teaching that is available for people who are just getting started with a vision and really so that you can take out those stumbling blocks and turn everything into stepping stones. And his program is incredible, you guys. You will just be blown away by how intensely quickly you will start to see shifts and changes in your life. So I highly recommend it, guys. So what would be step 3?
And so step 3 is then dealing with adversity, because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get that vision, and then you're going to take massive action. You're going to start to make it happen, and then you're going to start to face opponents. And I learned this from Jarek Robin. He's the one that really put this.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. And so for anyone listening, obviously Jarek Robbins is the son of Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins, and he talked about being raised watching people walk on hot coals. So he didn't have limited perceptions that we were born with.
Exactly.
Not born with, but the limiting perceptions that were downloaded into us as children.
Exactly. And he talked about something called your 2 opponents that you face in life. And he said you're going to face an internal opponent, and then you're going to face external opponents. And those are the 2 things that you're going to have to battle on your way to making your vision a reality. And it's always harder to face the internal ones. So the external ones are obviously, you know, people in your life that say, oh, you want to write a book? Well, I don't really think you have what it takes to be a writer. Or, oh, cool, you want to run a marathon? You've never run anything in your life. How do you think you could do that? Oh, you want to change the world? You're just one person. How are you going to do that? So those are people that we've all probably met in our lives, whether they were teachers or parents or friends or just acquaintances that didn't believe in us. And with those people, you just have to ignore it. You have to cut it, and you have to pay no attention to that, because the more energy you give to those negative things, the more the things they're saying are actually going to start affecting you. But if you give it no energy and you pay them no attention, they have no power over you. So those are a little bit more simpler. Thank you. Those are a little simpler to defeat. But then comes the internal opponent. And that's more difficult because it's inside of yourself. And a lot of people, I think, beat themselves up because they say like, I'm always getting in my own way. I'm always sabotaging my own success, things like this. And what I want people to realize is that it's not you, it's a part of you. There's a piece of you that's sabotaging you, or a part of you that's not helping. There's a whole bunch of you. There's a 90% of you is on board with your mission, trying to make it happen, trying to help you. But there's just a part of you. So I think when people use broad terms like, oh, I'm always getting in my own way, you know, you start to look at yourself as the opponent, and you're not the opponent. There's an internal opponent. There's a smaller part of you. And as we discussed at the beginning of this, you know, those pieces and those beliefs come from when you're young. It's not something that you're going to control. And just like Bruce Lipton said, for the first 7 years of your life, you're basically a sponge, and you're just picking up beliefs and habits from the world around you. And the difficult thing is, because you're a child, you don't get to make conscious or aware decisions of how you're perceiving these beliefs. So let's say that your parents, say they were always fighting about money, and they were yelling and they were screaming. Then what you're going to take from that is that money breaks up relationships. Money makes people fight. Money is sad and money is hurtful. And those are the things that you're going to take as a kid, because you don't know how to differentiate that money's actually good and they want money, and because they don't have money is why they're fighting. You don't have that level of rationale. So you start to put these things in your mind where you start to hold yourself back. And so you have to really defeat that internal opponent. And my favorite method of going about that is that there's a line that Joe Vitale says, and he says, where's the proof that I can't do something? So anytime he has something where it's like, he wanted to be a musician. I think he started playing guitar when he was like 60 or something. So most people would say, my ship has sailed. I'll never learn to play the guitar. I'm not going to be a musician. But he said, where's the evidence that I can't play guitar? Where's the evidence that I'm not a musician? And you look around, and all of a sudden there's nothing. There's nothing holding you back. He has two hands. He's a very capable man. He has time in his day. There's nothing stopping him from learning to play guitar and becoming a musician. And I think he has like 12 records out in 4 years. So the guy is a beast. And he did that because he checked himself when that thought popped up and said, well, I mean, I don't really know. You might be a little old to be playing music. He said, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? And when you ask yourself that, you're going to quickly find out that 9 times out of 10, there is no evidence and there is no proof for you not being able to do something, and you can carry on with that vision.
That's so awesome. That is, I mean, yeah. And you know, it's true. Like what he's saying, though, I mean, that makes so much sense. I'm going to use that myself and remember that, because, you know, where is the proof? Each time I, you know, had my visions, you know, I started off designing board games for children, and you know, had this vision that I wanted to have environmental education, animal advocacy, kindness, and compassion be a part of curriculum. And because there was nothing when my daughter was in kindergarten, I started programs, literally started programs in my area, so that we could actually have programs. And I volunteered my time and created these programs. And now she's in college, and the programs, I mean, the vision has totally grown and it's spread. And my real vision is to have it be global. And so, you know, you have to start, like you said, with that clear vision. Then you have to, so those 3 steps are incredible. They're so perfect because they're so, they're actually very in alignment with anything really loving your dream into reality. Because the more that we get that clear vision and then take massive action, and then don't let the internal or external components come into it, you know, just let yourself be held in the knowing that. And that's why I just wanted to read this in a quiet prayer. I just wanted to read this to all of us, because it was a message. One with the good in the universe, I am at peace. I am love. In quiet prayer, I take a moment to acknowledge our oneness. One with all good in the universe. That's what we are, you guys. We're all love. We're all peace. We all have these absolute meanings to share this message and help others. And there's reasons why you're called to watch this show. There's reasons why you're called to be in the Raise Your Vibe tribe. There's reasons why you want to watch The Abundance Factor. So get over there, get the movie, give it, it's the best gift you could give for the holidays. And then he also has this amazing new program that he's going to be doing for the holidays. Do you want to share about that, Riley?
Yeah, so this is actually the first we'll be mentioning this, so you guys get the exclusive insider
scoop. I told everybody we're exclusive.
And what we're going to do is something called 7 Days of Abundance. And so what that means is you're going to sign up, and for 7 days, and this will be coming in mid-December for the holiday season, you're going to sign up, and for 7 days, you're going to get 7 full-length interviews for free that are taken from the time I was shooting The Abundance Factor. So I sat down with people like Joe Vitale and Bob Proctor and Sonia Riccati and Margaret Lynch and all these great people. And you're going to get to watch those interviews for free in their full entirety. But even cooler than that is we're really going to put in this giving and compassion component, because I want to give back to the world so much, because so many people give to me and so many people write to me and they say, your movie changed my life. And I get all of these positive, inspiring things. So I'm always receiving, and now I want to give back in a way. And so we're going to be giving away iPads. We're going to be giving away the movie, The Abundance Factor DVD. And then we're going to have lots of all-stars from the movie putting in programs and things like that. So when you sign up, you have a chance to actually win an iPad or a movie or a course that could be worth $1,000. And Karen has actually agreed to throw in her book. So why don't you explain what you're going to be chipping in?
Well, you guys, as you all know, last year on my birthday, I made that wish for global kindness to go viral, and it really did. And so my wish this year is to have Global Kindness Go Viral, the movie. And I will be starting a fundraising campaign that will begin the beginning of December. And I will also be donating copies of my book so that you can get the full book in entirety as an ebook with Riley's program. And Riley and I are going to work together on bringing kindness in a bigger and more global way. And we have decided that when two minds come together and we start to envision bigger visions, then all the components fall into place. And so just holding myself accountable, I'm letting people know, just like last year when I made my wish on my birthday, that's what I want people to donate for my birthday wish, my birthday gift. I'm a nonprofit business. My business is I'm a nonprofit business leader. I've been organizing Earth Day in my area for almost 15 years. And I'm a 4-time best-selling author, and also this online show that I do, plus I do amazing shows on Periscope and Blab. I use social media. I teach people how to use technology for a greater good. I help you to bring ancient wisdom into these modern times so that you can have success and really get what you have in your heart out there to the world. Our world needs you to stop playing small, and our world needs all of us to shine our light in these dark places and stop focusing on the things that aren't working and start focusing on the things that are working and the people who are doing good things. So this movie is going to be all about focusing on the global kindness actions that people are taking on a huge scale that don't get any kind of exposure. So that's my little rant. That's my little rant. So as always, Riley, what an honor. I feel really blessed that you took the time to spend with us, and anything that you'd like to say in closing.
The main thing is, if you want to learn more about the Abundance Factor movie, go to www.theabundancefactormovie.com. And even if you don't, and if you don't care about the movie, just remember to chase your dreams, believe in yourself, and do epic good stuff for the world, because it's people like us that counter all those negative things in the world. You know, you turn on the news and you see war and killing and all these things, and you say, what can I do? Well, what you can do is to follow your passion, follow your dream, and put more light in the world than they're putting dark. Because if we all put in more light. There is no place for darkness to exist. So I encourage everyone to chase their dreams and to follow their passion.
That is so beautiful. What a beautiful way to end. So will they be able to find out more about the 7 days at the Abundance Factor movie also?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you go there and you sign up to watch the movie for free for 5 days, you're also going to get a notification in early December about the 7 days of abundance.
Yeah, you guys, I wanted to let you know too, that link that's in the chat right now, if you click on that link, you'll actually have 5 days where you can watch the movie. And honestly, I watched them the whole 5 days, and then I got the book. I mean, I got the movie, and then I wanted the program, and I just thought everything was just so amazing. It was like I could feel the subconscious mind, you know, going, what are we doing this for? And, you know, and I was like, I'm not going to let my internal, the most important thing that we can do, guys, is really find inner peace for world peace. If we can find inner peace, every one of us, there's billions of us out there. There's billions of us that could be watching this. And what I'd love to say to you is you matter. You make a difference. Your heart and your soul could change the world. What if you just sat small in your space with your pretty little dream and let yourself just kind of waste away the opportunity of living your life with purpose and passion? Riley and I are doing it. I was homeless. I lived out of my car. So I know that you can totally change your life. It's a big part of why I'm doing Global Kindness, because I remember and I have empathy for those people that are on the street. And I don't think that anybody should be ever homeless, because there is abundance in the world, and we can shift this. And every person who is homeless, every person who does have a drug addict, you know, an addiction, or does have something that they're struggling with, it all stems from not having inner peace. Once you have inner peace, you will have everything, and nothing can ever be taken from you. So that's my last bit, and I'd love to hear your last goodbye. I don't even want you to go. I just love your energy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, I just want to thank you for having me on the show today. I want to thank you for everyone watching this, whether you're watching it right now or you watch it in the future. You guys are great, and thank you so much for everyone's support.
Yay. So have an awesome day, you guys. Go out there and make it purposeful and passionate. You get to choose if it's going to be a fun day or if it's going to be a day where you're going to complain. It's always up to you. You can't complain and be grateful at the same time. So choose grateful.